I'm hoping on a Monday morning that you can feel the love, Grenada. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carrick, Petey, Martinique. A track there for the man Elton John, taken from the animated classic, The Lion King. Good morning to you. Good morning. It is Monday morning, Grenada. It's another great day in God's wonderful creation. It's your boy JC, and welcome to Good Morning Grenada. Well, today's special in more days than one. I'm not sure if you've quite figured it out as yet. The fact that I'm alive, you are alive. That sets the tone for it. But officially, folks, I'm assuming by now that you're up, you're about, you're bouncing, you got all the peps in your step, and you're ready for the asking and demands of another really great day. Well, the kids are officially back, but not all of them, of course. But today being, what was the punctuated, remember school was officially, should have started last week, but that was over and done. Let's forget that. And we're here and we are ready to go. I hope that those of you that's getting ready, you have to go and you're getting ready for the JOB as well. I'll say good morning to you. Wherever you are, those of you here at home, across the region, in the diaspora, a wonderful good morning. And I certainly hope you've had a good night's rest and you're up and about and you are ready to do this. Guess what? As per usual, I offer you a thought for the day. And for today, Monday, the 11th day of January. What you think of yourself is a lot more important than what other people think of you. The thought for the day. And I need you to remind this, sink it into your system, that what you think of yourself is far much more important of what other people think of you. That's just their thought. Today, as young people say, we're in business, we're in cater. Stay positive, stay focused, stay in control of your life. Now as it is, we're getting ready for the second working week of 2021, and today officially school, as been intimated by the ministry, will resume on a phased basis. Now, normally for most, the first week of school is always an exciting time. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and certainly, this Hillary term is going to be no different, even probably much more excited, given that we're now in a COVID-19 period. But just to set the tone for you, because of course, with everything that's happening, the restrictions, the this, the that, the protocols, and everything else, I want us to get an appreciation as you get ready for school. Parents, teachers, and if it's one person that knows a lot about the jitters and everything that happens when it comes to the start of the school term, whether or not it is the Michaelmas term or whichever the Trinity term, whichever one it is, it's Principal and my dear friend, Mr. Davis Adams. Mr. Adams, good morning. I know that you're busy. I can see you already dressed and ready for work. But before we run off, though, put in perspective for me. Today, first day back to school, what can be expected across the nation? Your mic, Mr. Adams.
Yes, Joe.
Yes.
Good morning to you again. Good morning to the Grenadian public, those who are tuned in to GBN TV and radio. Good morning to everyone. And it's certainly good to be hopefully of help to us as we prepare for school, the beginning of a new term, Hillary term, the beginning of a term where we are very often anxious of what is happening. And hopefully, as we speak, we can be able to get an idea of how we can prepare for school as we go along. I mean, navigating what we would call, as many people call, COVIDious time.
Talk to us as a principal teacher. The ministry has implemented a lot of these changes, as we know, all part of, and I shouldn't say changes, sorry, protocols would be the proper word. Yeah. Protocols, so as to keep you safe, the nation's children safe, with everything, what can be expected, so at least individuals, the teachers, children can deal with with the agitation, the uncertainties of the school term, and what may happen, what may transpire today on day one?
Well, to begin with, we know that this week, Joe, that it's the exit classes that will be in for sure, that will be in, minus a couple other minor arrangements in some other institutions. But it will be the exit classes. That is the grade sixes, the form fives, and the 4+s at the preschools. Those are the classes that will be in. And we know that parents, of course, are anxious of what is happening, how the children are getting to school, and so on and so forth. So I want to say that for those who are not in school, we want to let you know that try your best to remain calm, because we believe that the situation will blow over at some point. It will not last forever. But for those who are preparing this today, for this week, that will be the exit classes, what I want you to understand is to pay attention to all of the necessary protocols that the ministry has put in place. They are put in place for our safety, not to punish, not to be a punitive measure, but for our safety. So whether the child is traveling on the bus or you are dropping the child to school, let them observe the protocols. When they get in school, they should observe all protocols and all policies that schools have put in place to keep us safe. And of course, we know what they all are, Joe. That is physical distancing, wearing of masks, whether you're on the bus or at the school, washing of hands, understanding how to play, keeping your items for yourself. That is, very often students love to share, whether it is a pencil, a pen, a piece of paper, food, snacks. And at this time, it is not possible for them to get into all of those normal things because of what we are facing.
And you would also encourage parents as well to reinforce those points, those areas with their children, because very often that's where they first take their cues from. Well, mommy says, daddy says.
Yeah, very much so. And interesting, it might be easier for the more mature students, especially those at the Form 5 level, to be able to be independent in observing the protocols. That is the wearing of the mask, the physical distancing, knowing that they can talk to each other at a certain distance apart, as opposed to the primary children, especially pre and primary children, where the intuitive thought is playing and enjoying each other. Those reinforcements are important, both from school, from home, from public. You reinforce to them, it's not a punishment, it's just for a short while. The fact that you cannot pen, you cannot share, it's just for a short while. So those are necessary to reinforce from home, as well as from public, family, as a matter all stakeholders. We need them to assist us, especially at the pre and primary level, for students to observe those protocols.
And I'm like what you said is the benefit of assisting us, because we're doing this collectively.
Correct.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Adams. I know I've taken away from your time. I didn't realize that you were a Boy Scout. You normally you sleep and wake up in your clothes already, and you are ready to go. Certainly, what we're going to do later on as the week progresses, we'll always tap in with you to get an appreciation as to how the process is. What can you suggest and recommend to parents, other educators, as to how we allow for a fluid flow of learning for our nation's children. Much appreciated, comrade.
Thank you for having me. And just again to remind the parents, unless you have special arrangements, it will only be the exit classes, grade 6s, Form 5s, and the 4+s that will be in school this week.
Thanks a lot, Davis Adams, principal of the South St. George Government School, and my dear friend. Have yourself a wonderful day, sir.
You're welcome. Have a good day, too. Bye.
Wonderful. So there you have it, folks. I mean, you've heard it. You've heard the wisdom from the man. Parents, literally, get it into your children's hand. Let them appreciate. This is not punitive measures, but this is all in an attempt to keep us safe. This is what's going to happen, though. We're getting ready for the morning edition. And that comes up in just under a few minutes. For those of you that's on television, we're going to give you a repeat of the weekend's top stories. Not top stories, the weekend review. So top stories from last week. And that's what's coming up with you. And then, of course, for those of you that's on radio, you get your morning edition, comes up in just a bit. We'll be back with you at the top of the hour. But just to let you know, as well as we have programming for today, and we'll be having Dr. Sonia Johnson. She's going to be on this morning just to get us in the groove keeping safe. What do you need to do? Parents, you're back on the road. Children, listen, new year, keep it healthy, keep it safe as we navigate through this COVID-19 pandemic. I meet you on the other side. The morning edition comes up next.
Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell isn't going anywhere anytime soon. After repeating on several occasions his plans to bow out of frontline politics, he proudly told members of the media on Thursday during a face-to-face engagement that he will be around for a while. GBN's Sonia Johnson was the one who quizzed the Prime Minister on this issue.
With the Prime Minister's political career spanning over 3 decades, many are of the view that he will exit his seat sooner rather than later. Past statements made by the Prime Minister himself said so.
It is an open secret that we are approaching an election period here at home. This season must not be just about who will win the next election, but what sort of future we are determined to shape. For a nation to remain viable, it must find creative ways to regenerate its spirit, to refresh its leadership, and to inspire the youth sooner than later to take up their rightful places. This is why I've already indicated that this upcoming election campaign will likely be the last one in which I participate. The process of transitioning to new leadership has therefore begun.
Speculations fly as to whom he will hand over leadership of the country to if this was to take place. Well, a response was provided by the Prime Minister when the question was thrown at him by one member of the media on Thursday.
The decision has been made. I would have preferred not to have. I think there are rationale based on my own colleagues' views and general perception, and this might be the right time after the next election to hand over the reins to someone. So it looks likely, highly likely, that I will certainly run, unless, of course, I have some health issues or physical problems.
To reinforce his stance, the PM jokingly expressed his physique.
And I'm sure you recognize that I don't look too badly. So maybe better than someone to see me go out and calling me old. I know I look better and able to do some things better than some of them who look much younger than I am. So.
Can you elaborate, Mr. Prime Minister?
Elaborate on what, Mikey? And what I can do better than others? No go there.
The Grenadian leader has been Prime Minister since 2013, previously served as Prime Minister from 1995 to 2008. Dr. Mitchell is the longest-serving Prime Minister Grenada has ever had, holding the office for almost 19 years. Sonia Johnson, GBN News.
The deal is sealed on the Grenlex share purchase agreement, but the debate on the manner in which the negotiations and transactions were conducted are picking up steam. The latest challenge comes from opposition leader Tobias Clement, who is threatening to take legal action against government over the handling of the purchase of Grenlex shares. More in this report.
Opposition leader Tobias Clement announced on Wednesday that he will be filing a lawsuit against the government of Grenada for what he called the illegal manner in which the purchase of Grenlex shares was handled. According to Clement, before government can use any monies from the country's budget allocations for an unplanned matter, it must first be presented to the Finance Committee and later in Parliament, a procedure that was not followed.
In terms of allocation, transfer, paying of different government services, it must come through the Finance Committee. And here we have millions of dollars that are being transferred from government to some private entity. And we had no discussions on it. I mean, discuss were in cabinet, but under Parliament, in terms of financial discussion, we have the Finance Committee. And whatever the Finance Committee discuss, it must be tabled in Parliament. And when it is tabled in Parliament, then there could be debate on the issue. But we had none of that taking place.
Speaking at a Zoom press conference on Wednesday, claimant claims that the present administration has not been following the proper process put in place for far too long, and as such, it is time they answer for their actions. He stated that he is presently in discussion with a legal counsel on the final content of the lawsuit.
We are still in consultation with counsel, and I do believe that probably later on tonight, first thing in the morning, the whole document, it will be completed, and crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's so that we can have something substantial and something solid to go on. When it is completed, I will fill in the details, but at this point in time yet, it is not yet completed, but it is in transit now in terms of getting all the wording right and the construct right, and when this is done, then it will be filed.
The opposition leader said that transparency needs to be obtained in the House of Government. GBN sought a comment from government to the opposition leader's legal intent. However, up to press time, there was no response. For GBN News, I am Rina Pear reporting.
Meanwhile, just the day after the opposition leader Tobias Clement joined the line of skeptics, which included the NDC, to government's explanation on the financing of the repurchase of WRB shares in Grenlec, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell responded to the critics. Clement was again calling on government to come clean, as he says the money they claim came from the country's 2020 capital budget was insufficient. More in this report.
The money does not add up. That's a statement made by opposition leader and MP for St. George's Northeast Tobias Clement after his threat on Wednesday to take legal action against government over the handling of the repurchase of WRB shares in Grenlec. In a press briefing on Wednesday, Clement says after rigorously examining and investigating Grenada's 2020 budget under its provisional estimate and capital project, he is yet to see where government accumulated the $63 million to purchase Grenlec shares from WRB. He said if government truly acquired the finance from savings of the country's 2020 capital budget, there would be a $70 to $80 million shortfall.
Capital budget book says that the monies that was allocated, but it's not really money, that is what you hope to spend. $225.3 million. The actual provisional for 2020 was $122.1 million. That is what they said that they would spend in the capital project. So it means, therefore, what you are left with is $102.2 million. But if you bought Grenlec for $63 million or 70-something million, if it's $63 million is $170 million EC. 102.2 is not 170, so we still shortfall by approximately $70 to $80 million. What you actually spend was 122.1. So it means maybe if you have it, you could save 102.2. So the money that was saved from capital project is not enough by $70 million to purchase. It's just a simple math. It's not enough. So the question is, I ask, where did they really get the money from?
According to the opposition leader, the only way he believes government can obtain such money is through the Citizen by Investment Program Transformation Fund. He is calling for government to clear the air on the matter.
How much you pay for it, what monies is outstanding, how much is a lot that we do not know. I mean, I do not even know if the transaction is yet complete, or if we have certain time to pay it, or if where we got it, if they took all the money from anywhere within the allocation of government, then they would have to put it back in a certain time. But we're not getting, and what I am asking for clarity. The country and the population, it doesn't matter who you are. The country now is thirsting for information surrounding the purchase of the share from WRB by the government.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, during a special interview with the media on Thursday, said his administration did nothing wrong in purchasing Grenada shares from WRB.
It's unfortunate that the opposition, not even attempting to ask a question of those in authority, will talk about an illegal act. Clearly he doesn't understand what an illegal act is, and we will certainly be showing him that. I hope he shows up on Tuesday and be informed accordingly as to the correctness of the legality and the beneficial aspect of that particular acquisition, which we have indicated was certainly in the best interests of the country.
Prime Minister Mitchell says Grenadians should be grateful for government's decision to repurchase Grenada.
Feel good facts.
Avoid the most common causes of spreading the flu. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue, dispose of it straight away, and either wash your hands or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Coughs and sneezes spread diseases. So cover coughs and sneezes, please. Not with a rag or bandana. They trap germs. When you use the rag again, you put germs on your hands and everything else you touch. When you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth and nose with tissue. Throw the tissue in a bin and wash your hands afterwards. If you don't have a tissue, cough into your sleeve or elbow. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers are also effective in cleaning hands.
This is a plastic bag. From February 1st, these bags are not to be used when shopping for food. So here's what you should do. Refuse plastic. Instead, bring your own reusable shopping bags and say goodbye to plastic. Choose to refuse plastic. Walk with your reusable shopping bags and help protect pure Grenada from plastic pollution. A message from the Ministry of Climate Resilience.
No, that's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Feel good facts.
Help prevent cold and flu by washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. That's the time it takes to remove most germs. No soap and water? No worries when you've got alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Feel good facts.
Remember, if you have flu symptoms, do the right thing and stay at home to avoid giving it to others. Remember, you can be infectious up to a week after developing symptoms, so rest up and take it easy.
the spread of germs that can make you and others sick. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. If you don't have a tissue, use your elbow. Wash hands often, especially after coughing or sneezing into a tissue.
Were rife about the reason for the cancellation of last Sunday's presser by the government. As the evening progressed, many pointed at the possibility that the government was backed into a corner by a statement made by someone who identified herself as the daughter of the deceased man. However, as the week progressed, Grenadians learned that a committee had been appointed to investigate the country's first COVID-19 related death. The body of Grenada's first COVID-19 related death was cremated in accordance with guidelines set out by health officials. This will be the trend adopted for people who die as a result of COVID-19. Details in this Sonia Johnson report.
The announcement came Sunday through a press release that a 72-year-old male who arrived in Grenada on December 16th has died from COVID-19. The ministry, according to the chief medical officer, is treating this latest COVID case as an imported case. Minister for Health Nicholas Steele says health officials decided that cremation be adopted to avoid contamination and possible spread of the disease.
There is a protocol in place. The family has cooperated fully. We give support to that. And I have been in direct communication with family members to express my support, my condolences, and will continue to be. But with respect to a COVID-19 related death, the procedure is, and the protocol is, cremation.
The deceased, who first had a negative result, was medically cleared. However, on day 11, developed symptoms of the virus, which, according to the acting chief medical officer, Dr. Sean Charles, was still within the incubation period.
Incubation period for COVID-19 is between 2 to 14 days. The system that we have, we test at day 4, which will capture the majority of the cases that are infected. All right? But it will not capture 100%. Remember, there are persons that are going to present late. All right? As likely occurred in this setting.
He said despite being cleared from quarantine following the 4th day testing does not mean that an individual is in the all clear, and therefore people must continue to observe the public health measures. A special committee has been appointed to investigate circumstances surrounding this first COVID-related death. The committee has been given 1 week to determine all of the facts and present a report to Cabinet. Here's Health Minister Nicholas Steele.
I have said clearly, this is the country's first death related to COVID-19, and as such, it is extremely important to get all of the details on this for the record for those who are providing that care and service, for all of us who are looking to avoid that possibility, and for the family.
Additionally, the Ministry of Health is moving ahead with contact tracing efforts and has so far determined that 27 persons were potentially exposed to the latest case. All of these persons have already been tested, and the ministry is currently awaiting their results. Sonia Johnson, GBN News.
On Wednesday, Grenadians home and abroad looked on in awe as thousands of supporters of U.S. President Donald Trump breached the Capitol, where lawmakers were meeting to confirm President-elect Joe Biden's win. CARICOM added its collective voice to recent happenings in the United States. Chairman of the 15-member Caribbean Community, Dr. Keith Rowley, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, says the regional body is deeply saddened and concerned at the unprecedented scenes that unfolded at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. during the certification of the votes of the presidential elections by the U.S. Congress. In Grenada, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell said the U.S. president needs to accept defeat. Gerard Joseph takes us through the latest developments in the U.S.
The U.S. Capitol locked down Wednesday with lawmakers inside as violent clashes broke out between supporters of President Donald Trump and police. During the unrest, 4 people were killed and over 50 arrested. The joint session to count votes was interrupted by protesters who stormed the Capitol, leading to a long delay. However, Congress certified Joe Biden as president-elect around 3:45 a.m. on Thursday. A bolstered group of law enforcement officers, which included reinforcements from the U.S. Marshals Service, the FBI, and other agencies, ejected protesters and allowed legislators to reconvene and count electoral votes. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell joined his regional colleagues in addressing the issue.
I am one who firmly believes that if you have to be a good leader, you have to be a good loser. That's my fundamental philosophy. I don't think, and I say this to my own members of my team. So I say that to everybody, and I say to my President of the United States, be a good loser. That to me, that's all I would say as an individual, and to wish the American people the best as they go forward. Because clearly, a stable and peaceful America is a good thing for Grenada and the rest of the world.
Grenadian attorney in the U.S., Denison George, says it is a frightening development as deficiencies were exposed in the democratic system, a situation which was championed by President Donald Trump.
It sends a terrible, terrible, terrible message to the world. And it's a message that I don't think it might take centuries, maybe decades, to recover from.
He says it was a dark day in the U.S. with the Confederate flag being flown in the Capitol.
Not only that, they erected a noose to symbolize lynching, and they stormed the Capitol. They made their point. So many of the racist group, the Proud Boys, the Ku Klux Klan, they were all there yesterday to send a message to the world that they owned America.
George notes the leniency shown by the police was unlike the strong-handed approach during the Black Lives Matter march. He believes if the roles were reversed, there would be thousands of African Americans dead or arrested. He is, however, optimistic that a Democratic-led Senate will bode well for the Black or Caribbean community.
You know, I'm hoping that the Biden presidency would be more favorable to the Caribbean countries in terms of aid, in terms of immigration. And, the Trump didn't give a damn about the Caribbean. It was America first.
George says President-elect Joe Biden must now set a tone for the country of racial harmony and lead by appointing a balanced cabinet, among others. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
School reopens on Monday, January 11th, but in a phased manner. The Ministry of Health has also reverted to the 6 feet distancing in schools as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to force changes to the way we operate.
Instead of the usual start to the school term on Monday, January 4th, 2021, students have been given 1 more week at home. However, from Monday the 11th, students will return to the classroom, but in a phased manner. Chief Education Officer Angela Finley, appearing on GBN's To The Point program Wednesday, explained what would happen going forward.
And having gone through all of this, we are in a position, acting on the advice, the guidance of the Ministry of Health, to have students return to schools as of Monday the 11th in a phased manner. So the exit grade of each pre-primary, primary, and secondary schools are to be accommodated in the physical setting on site as of Monday the 11th of January. There's also a provision for schools with a very small population, where they will be able to go back once they share the plans for their accommodation with their district education officers, and it's brought forward and accepted at the Ministry of Education. They would be able to open up to accommodate all students on site.
The CEO further explained the procedure for the following week.
The week of the 18th of January, we are expecting that all schools would again have on site their exit classes, in addition to as many of the other grades that will be where their facility would allow for their accommodation, having due regard for the 6 feet distancing protocol, which the Ministry of Health has advised that we need to revert to. So once the school has enough space and facilities to allow students to operate safely with 6 feet distancing protocol, schools will be able to take back the rest of their students. However, we know that there are some schools, due to a number of limitations at this time, where accommodation of every student every day would just not be possible once we are using that 6 feet distancing. Hence, in those cases, principals are advised, managers are advised to work with their district officers to work out a plan where every child is able to access on-site learning for at least 1 day a week.
Mrs. Finley highlighted the protocols by which schools should be guided, similar to that of the ones used during the period June to September 2020.
Gone through basically 3 possible phases. When we had the first bout of students returning, the first batch of students returning to the physical plant, that was in June of last year, and that was for the Form 5 students to prepare them for sitting off the CSEC examinations. During that time, we had a protocol which catered for 6 feet distancing, restriction to visitors, basically no visitors coming on the compound, severe restrictions there. Persons coming onto the compound was restricted to utility workers, persons dropping off supplies, and so forth. So we are now going back to that protocol, the protocol which existed then, and also enhanced, let's say, for the reopening of school in September. So that version which we use in Malcolm's term 2020, this version is what is applicable at this time.
Schools' principals and managers are expected to submit their school's plan to the Ministry of Education for consideration by Friday, for implementation Monday, 18th January. The ministry also commits to provide additional cleaners and monitors to support the movement of students.
The Conjugal store wishes to advise the general public and its customers that the company will be temporarily closed on Tuesday, January 12th, to facilitate an important general staff meeting. The wholesale office and mini-mart will resume operations at 8 a.m. and 7 a.m. respectively on Wednesday, January 13th. Island-wide sales via the trucks and vans will resume as per normal on Wednesday, January 13th. The Conjugal store apologizes for any inconvenience that this temporary closure may cause and thank the general public and its customers for their cooperation and understanding.
Do you want to win loads of prizes this Christmas with BIP? Join our Spin to Win promotion to win exciting prizes daily. Here's how. Go to the Discover section of the BIP app. Search for the Spin to Win channel and click follow. Once you have followed the channel, click the Spin Now button, choose your device type, select your country, and wait for the wheel to start spinning. Be quick. When your wheel lands on the correct prize of the day, screenshot the prize and send your screenshot to the Spin to Win chat to enter the promotion. Click the Daily Updates button to get updates on the prize you are required to spin for each day, and also to know if you are the lucky winner of the day.
Merry Christmas, spin and win with Bib.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Exploring the beaten trails, discovering uncharted terrain, connecting with people and places, giving a renewed appreciation for our flora and fauna. We are out and about. From the crystal white sands of Grandin's Beach to the cascading and majestic tumble of Concord Falls, the meandering of the St. John's River, or our undulating mountain ranges. We are out and about. Saturdays, live on GBN Television, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel. Out and about, rediscovering the untamed beauty of Spice Country. GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11, K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
Protect yourself and our community from COVID-19. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If soap and water are not available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 70% alcohol. Use a tissue when blowing your nose, sneezing, or coughing. Immediately discard the tissue properly and wash or sanitize your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Let's do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy.
Oh my Lord. You hear lyrics? I hold into your whole body and feel it you move. That's not for the morning show. Anyway, 21 minutes gone past the hour. It is Monday morning, Grenada, and we are up on about. For those of you that's on the GOB already, good morning to you. If you're heading there and you have to get there for 7:30, you better be somewhere in the building. I ain't making no arguments over that. If you're not in the building, you are officially... But don't call your boss now at 22 minutes gone past the hour and say, boss, I am running late. Listen, your boss already realized you're running late. You understand that? For those of you that's heading in there for 8 o'clock, reminding you that we've promised ourselves for the year 2021 that no longer will we allow ourselves to accept mediocrity. No. Today's full productivity. Put those devices down, give unto Caesar that which belongs to Caesar. Again, we say good morning to all of the teachers of the nations, wherever you are, the bus drivers, the doctors. It's a busy, busy, busy day on the nation's road, and we want to encourage you to be safe. Drivers, look out for other drivers that's not necessarily paying attention to you, and look out for also pedestrians and on all other commuters on the road. 23 minutes gone past the hour. Listen, folks. 2020 has been a difficult year, and 2021 promises, in case you're wondering, it's not going to be any easier. The kids are off to school today. We are bombarded with issues, and we keep fighting with ourselves. How do we stay healthy? What do I do? Because, Doc, I have so much to do. I have the stress, the this, the that. Listen, at the end of the day, we need to find a balance in how to stay healthy. Now, I'm not the expert at staying healthy, right? But my good friend, who's always reminding me, Joe, you need to. Yes, you need to. I took her word, this much she doesn't have tennis. But I want to say good morning to my wonderful friend and Dr. Sonia Johnson. Doc, good morning, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and I'm fine, thank you. Nice to hear you say that at your... to try to get going with certain things. So
yes.
Just want to reiterate it right here and now.
That's what friends are for.
That's what friends are for.
Doc, it's important. Staying healthy I think it's a question and or issue that's always at the forefront of people's mind. Staying healthy, keeping the kids healthy. But very often in our culture, we tend to be a little bit more reactive to issues and matters of health. But I think as a health professional, you would agree that it is always better to be proactive. Know what's happening with you. Talk to us about the importance of just keeping in a general state of good health, physically first, and then we can always talk on the mental part.
Yes. So the mental part is important. So we will talk about that. But the physical part, as you said, it's important to be proactive and not wait for something to happen to you to then try to solve that problem. This is one of the big issues of primary care. And so we really want to make sure and advise people generally in the public and everywhere else to be on top of who you are. You have to know who you are and what your family histories are and what you might be medically prone to have in case of having any hereditary problems. So this comes in where you want to be aware of who you are. So if you're diabetic, if you're hypertensive, those are the big ones. But there are other ones, asthmatic as well, and the dry season is coming in, hopefully. So you have to be aware of all these things and then be proactive about it. Do something about it. Know what medications you have to have. Make sure you have your medications at home. Make sure you have access to your medications, especially, as you said, with children and going to school. And the asthmatics, maybe, they need to have a puff. If they're on puffs, they need to have a puff in their bag. So they have one at their fingertips if that happens to them in the classroom. So these are the little proactive things that you can do in terms of medical illnesses. Generally, for us as people who may not have medical problems, we want to make sure we keep ourselves healthy. We eat healthy. We exercise regularly. We put that into our lives as a part of our lives. So we're not going to do it really vigorously after we put on a lot of weight, for instance. That's not natural weight. We want to be able to have a regular program, and this is where our proactiveness for good health can come in for, shall we say, the general public. We want to be able to make sure that you have a exercise program, you have a good eating program, you have a good sleeping program, and these are the things which will keep us in a constant level of good health.
Let me ask you that as you hear, because it is Monday. In terms of, we've grown up hearing that the breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and some people may argue. So let's talk from a medical perspective. As a health practitioner, what would you advise as to be an ideal breakfast for the children, that would allow them to be alert, keep them active, and even for the parents as we go out and about today, Monday?
Well, that's a good one, because it varies for different children. But as we will say, for generally, you want to cut down too much sugars, because sugars are a little bit too much. But then again, you want the sugar that would be released over the morning, because remember, the brain works from direct glucose, and so you want them to have a breakfast that would give them some carbohydrates. You must have some carbohydrate that would break down over the morning, and you want a little bit of protein, which they can have as they go on. So eggs is a good thing, cereal is a good thing, but not the cereal over sugared. There's a lot of cereal that you have to check. Parents, you need to read the boxes and not just do the one that you like, that's just loaded with sugar.
Or even cheap.
Get them on a high and then get them back down. You want a sustainable one. You want something that would sustain them through the morning. So the old-fashioned eggs are always a good option. And then you have the cereal, you have pancakes, you have different nice breakfast choices that children would like. And then it's not too expensive. You don't want to be running your cost over. And then you also want to pack lunch kits for children that would be not loaded in sugar and loaded in preservatives. So you want to give them sensible options according to your budget and according to your home cooking, but good food options, not snacky options.
And there's a lot of cereal. There's a lot of well, that's a nasty feedback. I was just saying that there's a lot of fruits in season now.
Yes. And I always recommend fruits in the morning. So fruits is a good one, and an extra fruit in the bag to go to school with. But that's usually a good choice. But for us adults, I prefer fruit in the morning, and then you go to something with carbohydrate. Everybody likes a good drink. So, just space it out. It's not too much. I don't think you should have an overloaded breakfast, because really and truly, you want to teach yourself to have small regular meals. That's ideal, rather than a big meal and then another big meal. You want to have smaller portions. So you really should have a little 10 o'clock snack or 10:30 snack if you have breakfast at 7:30 or 7 o'clock, because it just works better for your metabolism and your digestion system. So it varies much, but fruit and some carbohydrate and a little protein is always a good option. For children, they love cereals, so by all means you can have cereal with the milk and a good sandwich later on, or a good sandwich after, or something like that. So you get the carbohydrate from the bread, you get the whatever you put inside the sandwich for the protein, and that can keep you going pretty much for your brain to function well at school and for the morning.
Let me ask.
Water throughout. Always remember to give your children a bottle of water.
So we speak, they already left home, and they're saying, Doc, I didn't do well on the breakfast, and I already have, but I'm probably thinking I didn't have too much of the right breakfast, but I'm thinking about my 10 o'clock and my lunch. What would you advise? Because you did mention not necessarily starving yourself, but having little at intermittent points. So
right, you want to have small regular meals. So then you should have something. Try to avoid, what they need to do is try to avoid too much fried stuff. If they didn't have much of a breakfast, try to get a good sandwich, get a good egg and some meat or something sandwich, or just a regular fish sandwich or something like that. Although I know sometimes they do the fried, but if you didn't have anything for breakfast, you want to have some carbohydrate and some protein at some point in the morning.
What about those power bars?
Those power bars are good, but they're loaded with sugar. So you have to be careful which ones you choose and how you use it. It really is a supplement in case you're running late and you're in the middle of a meeting and you miss lunch and you want to make sure that you have something in your stomach to counteract the digestive acid juices that's being secreted. So I really recommend people sometimes who are busy, and I know a few, and they on the move and they got meetings and then they skip lunch, and I say, no, don't do that. Try to keep a box in the car, maybe of the cereal bars, so you could just have a cereal bar. So that gives you a whole kind of meal with a little sugar, but you don't want to use that on top of a meal as well. You want to use that as a in between. So that's cereal bars really, but you just have to be careful when you're giving it to children. We might burn out the energy, right, but children is a lot of sugar.
28 minutes on to the hour of 8 o'clock, Grenada. 8 o'clock workers, get going. I'm just step on. If you're still home, keep moving. And don't leave home late and then get on the bus and ask the driver to step on the gas. It's not his fault that you're late. You're late because of your own doing. For those of you that's just joining me, Dr. Sonia Johnson here with me. Doc, at the beginning of initially, you made mention of the importance of sleep. And I know for me, I am one that was guilty of that. At one point in time in your life, you tell yourself, boy, you're young and you're boasting, I only get 3 hours sleep last night, and you figure,
oh no.
But I'm noticing more and more, I can't do that anymore. I can't do that. Let's talk about the importance of sleep.
Sign of your age, my friend.
Would you keep quiet? I mean, I don't know why you have to tell friends my business for it.
Remember, I'm your friend.
Let's talk about the importance of getting a good night's rest.
Yes. The important thing also to note before we go there is that sleep in the night is a little different from sleep in the day. So we have some people who do night duties, and respect to them. Those are some of my previous colleagues, nurses and doctors, and so they do a lot of night duty. And so your whole circadian rhythm changes up when you do that. So you really need to get to see how you can get back on and get a good night's sleep. Because what the research has shown is that the body regenerates when you sleep, especially your brain. So you really need to give yourself some time to sleep for your body to regenerate. Your organs get a rest, your brain gets a rest, and it shows a lot of neurons are active during that time of sleep. And it's just so crucial to have at least 6 to 8 hours sleep and not interrupted sleep. It's good sleep because you want to get to the level of REM sleep. And REM sleep comes after a few bits. So sometimes you can have a power nap in the day And then they say about 20 minutes is a good power nap because you get to the REM sleep. You don't get to the REM sleep, so then you have a good rest. Now,
REM sleep? Expand on that.
REM is a level of the sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, where you really go into a deep sleep. So if you get a power nap, that's why they recommend it just about 20 minutes. But generally, you want to advise people to sleep. If you don't sleep well, you're not able to function well the next day. So it takes away from your productivity. And for all we know, we might know a little bit, but we don't know a lot about the brain. Bear in mind, there's a lot of research still going on, and a lot of how the brain functions is not known. So you want to make sure that your body is given enough time to regenerate and recuperate so that your next day will be productive. That's why you say when you sleep 3 hours, the next day you're very knocked out. You're really not with it because your body needs more time to regenerate. So this is so important for healthy living. You must do all the other things, exercise and diet, but sleeping, people disregard the sleep. And you think you can just stay up late and work and then go to bed 2 o'clock. Maybe, as you said, when the children are young and they're studying at secondary school level for exams, this can be accomplished, but the old adage remains: the night before you do an exam, for the parents and for the young people, the night before you do an exam, you should get a full night's sleep. Don't try to cram in and study late till wee hours of the morning and then you have an exam the next day. It doesn't work. Your whole body doesn't function. Your brain doesn't produce what it really already has absorbed. You need a good night's sleep.
Getting a good night's sleep. Let me ask you, because we're almost out of time. Our days are stressful, and gradually we have to find ways to manage stress. There's stress at home, stress at work. What would you advise? Mondays, for a lot of people, it tends to be one of those crazy ones. You're coming from the weekend, there's a meeting here, a minute there, you have reports. Give me 3 basic tips that I can use to manage stress during the day. So I'm here, Doc, I'm on the bus, I'm driving, I'm hearing you. But Doc, you don't know, you don't know. You're telling me what you don't know. What are some of the basic things I can do today, Monday, that can help me manage and pace myself during the day as we wrap?
Well, I can tell you what you can do on Saturday and Sunday for Monday. Plan ahead.
Okay.
Plan ahead is the key. Plan ahead and make sure you have it all worked out. Get your little diary, get your on your phone, whatever. Have it all organized. Space yourself out. Space yourself out. Don't have a meeting at 10 o'clock that finishes at 11 and then have another meeting at 11. That's ridiculous. You're going to kill yourself. Have a space yourself. So plan ahead, space yourself out, and be confident in who you are. You can accomplish this. You can do this. You know your limits, and you can get that done. So if you plan ahead and you space yourself out and you make your notes ahead of time and you have your little portfolio with your little points for each meeting and all the things you have to do for that day, and you get to that day, you're on top of the world. You are ready to rock and roll. And so you are confident, and keep that self-confidence. We are humble people. We have worked hard in our lives. We know where we're going. We know where we come from. Keep it focused and keep confident, and then we will be able to accomplish all these things in good rhythm, and also keep ourselves healthy.
I always been wondering why is it all these years you still look at sweet 16. Now I know. Good morning to you folks. Of course, Dr. Sonia Johnson. Doc, where are you based now? Is your office?
I'm in Grenada Shopping Center in Blackrock Clinic in the mornings. I do a little clinic there with Dr. Keita is in the afternoon, and I'm in the morning.
You're out in the morning. Grenada, my dear friend, Dr. Sonia Johnson. Doc, have yourself a wonderful day, and I hope you manage to pace yourself, eh?
I will, and I hope you do too.
Well, I have to, because you'll have to keep checking up on me.
I will.
I know I'll have to report. Have yourself a wonderful day, and keep smiling as usual.
Thank you, and all the best. Grenada, have a wonderful day and a wonderful week.
Thank you. There you have it, folks. Dr. Sonia Johnson. Tips for the day, folks. We need to. You don't ever assume anything when it comes to your health. be proactive, as Doc says, and make sure you exude confidence, stay on top of your business, and try to pace yourself during the day. We take a quick commercial break. I'm going to give you a little something to soothe your brain, though. Yeah? And when we come back, we're going to join the traffic cam.
These have been tough times, and we could all use a helping hand to get through this period. GUT Credit Union gives you the opportunity to do just that without a worry. What are you looking forward to? A relaxing staycation? Brand new appliances or devices? Consolidating your debt to get more money in your pocket? Not a member? No worries. Come in and find out how you too can make the most of this offer. Or visit us today. Yes, you can have a brighter Christmas season with GUT Credit Union. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Exploring the beaten trails, discovering uncharted terrain, connecting with people and places, giving a renewed appreciation for our flora and fauna. We are out and about. From the crystal white sands of Grandin's Beach to the cascading and majestic tumble of Concord Falls, the meandering of the St. John's River, or our undulating mountain ranges. We are Out and About. Saturdays, live on GBN Television, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel. Out and About, rediscovering the untamed beauty of Spice Country. 8 o'clock in the morning time, Grenada is the sound of Classic 105.9, 105.5, 105.9. Also want to say good morning to those of you that's linked up. We joined us on our sister station, Hot 98. Good morning to you. It is Monday, Grenada, and we're up and about. We've got the sky, the eyes in the sky. Not God, though. Junior Checkley, the eyes in the sky. It is Monday. We do traffic cam, and we're going to link up. I'm not sure which part of the globe he is, but we're going to join our friend, Junior Checkley, as we do the latest in traffic cam, see what's happening with the weather, what the traffic that is across the nation's capital.
So welcome. Good morning. Good morning, one and all. Good morning to all the listeners of GBN Radio, viewers of GBN TV. Welcome to your Monday morning traffic cam. And this morning, as we know, it's the official beginning of school, but with some conditions. Only exit forms are attending school this week. Exit form attending school this week. From 5 in secondary school, year 2 in Tam CC, grade 6 in primary school, and 4+ for preschool attending school this week. So we say happy Monday morning to all. Good morning. Welcome to your Monday morning traffic cam. We are at the Buns Point roundabout in traffic, trying to get into the town of St. George.
And we seem to have been having some connectivity issue there with Junior. But as he says, so we started off at Tantine, right outside of the Old Trafford, and trying to navigate into the town of St. George to kind of get a sense as to what the traffic is like. But even without Junior, we can reasonably assume that there's going to be an increased volume of traffic on the road, and certainly we want to make sure that you are aware of that, and that must be part of the planning process, Grenada. And Master Control, as soon as we get that connection issue sorted out, we can always go back. We can link up with him again. But
protocol. We all have to be responsible. And as you travel on the buses, though the buses will be filled with people, remember to wear your mask and make sure that you get sanitized when you're going into the bus. Now we are on the carnage outside Bailey's Funeral Home, approaching Western Union or Renwick and Thompson building. Now we are just outside Hubbard's. Not much congestion in the traffic this morning though. It's just a smooth flow of traffic on the carnage at the moment. So welcome one and all, wherever you're tuning in from. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Those of you in the diaspora, Trinidad, the UK, Scotland, welcome. And good morning to all the workers of GBN, the technical team, those are the ones and twos. Good morning. We are on the carnage on the Monday morning traffic cam as we take a drive, see what it's like around the bus terminal area as students go to school. The first day of school in 2021, and we know with the restrictions only exit grades are allowed to attend school this week. That's year 2 in T.M. Community College, Form 5 in secondary school, grade 6 in primary school, and 4+ in preschool are allowed to attend school today with some restrictions. Now we are traveling under the Sendal Tunnel. We are traveling under the Sendal Tunnel. And now we are out on Melville Street, just outside a Riser Credit Union. Or Dr. John Bosk building on Melville Street. We are now outside Grenada, where people are waiting to pay their bills. We are just outside Republic Bank. Here's a student on her way to school with her face shield. Everyone is wearing them. So we are out on Melville Street, just outside Andal Old Building. People are waiting to go get their health check in the health center. So you see folks are wearing their masks, some with face shield. We are just outside the bus terminal this morning. And an increase in traffic this morning as they begin school. So the bus drivers can be very thankful that school is reopened partially, so they have a little more traffic, a little more passengers to carry. See some students on their way to school. And there's a lot of traffic coming into St. George from Melville Street. A lot of traffic. Majority of traffic is buses trying to get to the bus terminal on Melville Street. So that's a noticeable slowing down in traffic this morning as you're getting into St. George via Melville Street. Expect some traffic delay as you get into St. George via Melville Street. We'll turn by the roundabout outside Lockward Brothers Funeral Home and see how long it will take us to get into the town of St. George from Melville Street. So good morning everybody, good morning to all the listeners of GBN Radio, to those in cyberspace, welcome, to those in TV land, welcome, your Monday morning traffic cam.
Well, thanks you, Dad. Thanks to Junior and, well, not the team, just to Junior. So as Junior intimated, traffic's kind of light. I mean, and then whatever he said, the only congestion that is seen is that of, I guess that would be traffic maybe coming from the western corridor as you make your way into the town of St. George just the regular flow as you would expect. There wasn't much of anything. I was quite surprised that the carnage coming from the Grandans area, from the Port Highway into Grandans, the traffic was quite light. The flow was quite easy. But folks, again, I just want to encourage you as you go through the day. Drivers, you can expect increased activity on the road now. Then, of course, those who make their way to school. And later on in the evening, I want you to just be proactive and plan your day. I know there's this mad rush that takes place after around the rush hour, 2 or 3 o'clock. Listen, folks, at the end of the day, you have to do what you have to do. I know you have to survive. But it's not just about surviving today. It's about being able to stay alive today so that tomorrow you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. It's about 5 minutes on to the hour of 8 o'clock. I'm getting ready to wrap up on the Good Morning Show for you right here. I want to say good morning to our listeners at Hot 98. Good morning to you and welcome to the program. It's always a pleasure being here with you. Again, reminding you that, as was intimated to us by Dr. Johnson, you want to stay in charge of your situation and your circumstances today. Our thought for the day, just to remind you, was what you think of yourself is a lot more important than what others think about you. Because very often we allow ourselves, how we think, how we behave, how we feel, to be fashioned by what he or she says about you and I. Well, listen, people are always going to talk. They're going to talk. That is what they do. They're supposed to talk. But I remember my mother used to always say, the only time people, she said, she often said that people do not stop and talk about the virgins and the non-essentials of life. Whenever people stop to talk about you, it means that you're important. And that's the way you have to see it. When they stop to talk, to pay attention to you, instead of reducing your value, tell them thank you, because you didn't realize that you had that much importance that they will stop from their busy schedule to worry about what is happening in your life. Stay focused, Grenada. Stay positive. Do what you have to do. And at the end of the day, you know what? Every day, remember we promised ourselves today, we reduce on mediocrity. We make a shift, a paradigm shift, where we say no more to mediocrity and only positive vibes in the morning time. 3 minutes on to the hour of 8 o'clock. At the top of the hour, there's going to be a bulletin of news from the BBC, and I'll be continuing here with you up until 9. Well, at 9 o'clock it's going to be to the point, and it's going to be an open line today. We're just going to have a conversation, your thoughts, as it relates to the first day of school, what you think, what you're not thinking, whether or not you were able to, there was enough information that was available to you to make that decisive decision. Let's talk about what potentially is going to happen next week as we get our nation's children back up and about as it relates to their learning curve. Peace and love. JC loves you. It's been a great last hour and a half with you. It's always a pleasure doing this with you. As I always say to you, think positive, stay focused, and remember, what you think of yourself is a lot more important than what other people think of you. Have a great one. JC loves you. I'm out of here for now.